Welcome to the Village Idiots podcast. I'm your dungeon master, Nathan. With me today I have Justin.
Heyo.
Nicole.
Sup?
And Emily.
Hello.
We are 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast. At the end of every episode, I name a village idiot who has to do the recap next episode. Last week's village idiot was me. But before we jump into the recap, we have a quick housekeeping thing. At the end of last week's episode, everyone leveled up to level 10. So that I'm not interrupting the story, so we can jump right from the recap into what's happening this week. Let's have everyone roll for initiative so we can say what you got at level 10. Everyone is now level 10.
I crit myself.
Oh no.
18.
I got a 2.
Gotcha. Okay, Emily, you were Maxine. Let's go first. What'd you get when you leveled up? This multi-class?
So I leveled into Rogue again, mostly because I feel like that's what she would be leveling up in. I don't foresee Maxine like practicing her music on the side. I see her practicing her stabbies on the side. So I upgraded into Rogue again. I got a few more hit points. My proficiency bonus has gone up. It's now +4 where it was +3. And I got something called evasion, where when I get hit by a spell that requires a dexterity check, I immediately take half damage, and if I succeed on the roll, then I take no damage, which is fun.
Excellent. That's Marquess Maxine Monroe, level 7 rogue, 3 bard, human.
Yes.
Fashionista. General asshole to people.
It's fair.
All right, Justin, Pax, you have leveled up to level 10. What have you gotten?
I would like to know that as well, because I totally didn't finish doing that a little bit, because there was a little preparation time. But
I just behind the screens here, I told them like 20 minutes before we started that they leveled up. So
yeah,
bear with them.
And being a war domain cleric, I get a lot of divination stuff and spell slots, and there's a lot that goes into it. So I need to do a little bit of housekeeping.
So you get some spell upgrades. You've got
2 5th level spells. I'm excited.
Yeah. So that's exciting. Don't worry, I'll keep the need for spells to a minimum this week. He said, foreshadowing the fact that there would be lots of spells needed this week. Anyway, that's Pax, our deep elf war domain cleric. Tora, played by Nicole. You also leveled up to level 10. What did you get?
Some more hit points. I got a new druidic circle feature, so my ability to wild shape goes up so that I can do it twice and turn into basically any one of the avatar elementals. I'm kind of like an avatar. That's fun, but I'm always going to forget that I can do that. And I got like 2 more spell slots.
Awesome. That is Tora, our human druid. Level 10. Circle of the Moon. Likes tigers.
Wow.
So, I'm looking for my notes app because I wrote down everything that happened last week. So,
He wrote down likes tigers at the top.
No, I wrote down what happened last week's episode because I'm the village idiot. I'm doing the recap now. Okay, so in last week's episode, our heroes were in the Grotti Tower checkpoint. They're looking for quote-unquote, or Tora's quote-unquote brother, Durek, the obsidian mantle. And they calmed the very nice clerk at the front desk into believing that Durek was in fact Tora's long-lost brother. So this clerk directed them to the catacombs where they had headed, the obsidian mantles. They're looking for information. These are the ones that the Order of Alteration Job Board told them they needed to silence. So they headed down to the catacombs, and they had a spooky time down there. scared the bejesus out of some obsidian mantles, finished their job, and all of a sudden their Shade Rippers started doing some weird poltergeist shit, spinning around on the floor and blinking, and Pax touched their Shade Ripper and got a ping in their ear, and they were immediately connected with Order of Alteration technical support, who informed the Beetle, which is Pax's code name with the Order of Alteration, that you can only have one job per party. And so the other two jobs that that this party had, to silence a disgraced member of the Order of Alteration in the Cloistered Peaks, and to help out with a shade pocket in Fellows. They were abandoned quests. Their Shade Rippers were emptied, and the customer or technical support agent on the other line with Pax said their name was the Bullet, and they would help in the future if they needed to. So the party figured out that the Order of Alteration is somehow listening in on what they are doing and got a little spooked by that. But they were also spooked when they were down in this tomb and some footsteps started coming their way. So spooked, in fact, that they forgot they could rip into the shade and instead hid from these people in these catacomb alcoves with the dead bodies. So down the steps came Reg the Goblin, who they had met previously, and with him was a halfling woman coming down the steps as well, who Pax identified as the one, the only Mara Fordi, leader of the Violet Rose out of the Barony of Talaria. Dun, dun, dun. So, the party was hiding, but they saw it was Reg, so they got a little less scared. But nonetheless, they didn't want these people to know they were there. Pax opened a shade rip and was going to slip on in there to see what they were up to. It sounded like they were trying to meet the obsidian mantles that were down here. But on the way into the shade, Tora slipped down from the alcove that she was in and knocked a skeleton loose and made a big old clatter. And the last thing you all heard was Reg from the other room saying, "What was that?" And that's where we're going to start.
Okay, cool. I have a question. Did I make it into the shade pocket? I don't remember what my role was.
Your role was fine.
I thought you were invisible.
You were invisible. I don't know if you stated whether or not you uninvisibled. Revisibled.
Revisibled.
We can say odds or evens to say whether or not you're still invisible, if you want.
Sure. Let's do that, because I don't remember.
Odds or evens?
Odds.
I got an even. You're not invisible.
Okay, but
Which
did I,
makes more sense.
But I made it into the shade pocket, or into the rip, right?
Yes, you made it in.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Cool. So I want to use another one of my other spell slot, second level spell slot, to cast invisibility on Tora on my way into the shade pocket. Like, I see her falling and touch her.
Okay.
Push her down to the ground a little harder, but she's invisible.
Okay. So while all this is happening, what is your plan? Are you going to try and close the shade rip so that it is no longer visible, but Tora is outside and invisible?
I'm going to leave that up to Pax. He's the one that opened it. So, I mean, we can close it and hope Tora can fend for herself and realize that she is invisible now. Or we can, I guess that's the only option. We could keep it open and Reg comes around the corner and is like, "Hey, what the fuck?" Those are our options.
I guess it depends where in the room the shade rip is open, because if it's in the center of the room, then he's obviously going to see it, but if it's to the side, then he might not notice the...
Pretty sure it's in the center of the room.
Shit.
So let me give you the lay of the land here. So you're in the Tomb of Idrindon. I can call it what it is, because you saw Idrindon on the sarcophagi lid. So you all are in the southern portion of the first chamber of the tomb. Reg and Mara were going up to the northern passage, and they were in that room. So they are kind of on the far side of the room from where you were hiding. You're about 25 feet away from the passage that they took up to that northern chamber.
That sounds far, but it's really not. 25 feet is not far.
Well, you're 25 feet from the entrance to the chamber, and the chamber goes 10 feet down a corridor, and then it's a 15 by 15 foot chamber.
I say we zip this bad boy up and let Tora fend for herself. I gave her the tools to deal. She can handle it. She is not as stupid as we pretend she is.
Wow.
I honestly think she'll be fine. She's invisible. What else are we doing?
I also genuinely think that is definitely something that Maxine would do.
Yeah.
That is hella on brand.
Yeah, if you don't have inspiration, you've got it now.
Thank you.
So, Tora.
Yeah.
Make me a wisdom save, please. Because a lot of stuff is happening really quickly, and I want to see if you realize that you are invisible in this hubbub.
Come on, I just said you were smart enough to do this.
An unnatural 20.
Okay, you realize what Maxine has done to you as she pushes you down farther. You've seen her cast invisibility enough times that you know that that's what she's done. With your innate magical ability as well, you sense that you're invisible.
I've been magicked.
Yes. So, Pax, you closing up that shade rip?
See, this is where I'm like specifically torn.
Because it's a rip.
We're not leaving. We're still going to be here.
Yeah,
like, I'm not saying we leave Tora. I'm saying we close those rips so that they don't also find us.
So the thing with closing the shade rip, and I think what I'm recognizing is Pax's trepidation, is that you won't be able to see Tora, Reg, or Mara on the other side if you close the shade rip.
Can't they hear it, though?
No. You can't hear or see from the material plane to the shade if you keep the rip, or if you close the rip.
No, but we can close the rip, go around the corner.
I was literally just about to say that.
So we could, hear, but we can hide.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
And that's something that Maxine and Pax can talk about in the shade, too.
I just come through and I seal that bad boy up, and Pax is like, "What are you doing?"
You just hold Pax's hand and close the shade rip. Let's go.
I just shoved Tora. According, from Pax's perspective, I just jumped out of the coffin, shoved Tora to the ground, and zipped up the shade pocket.
You can explain it to him when you're in the shade, though.
And then I grab his hand and I turn around and I go, "Get off the roof! Get off the roof! Get off the roof!" So we could get to a corner. I'm like, around the corner, right? Let's go! So it's very confusing to Pax, but I will say that I explain once we get around the corner. I will pull my own shade ripper out and start to get on the other side.
Pax, how do you react to all that?
My world just came falling apart because I just saw the biggest bad in the land, and Maxine just totally forsaken Tora. And she just grabbed my hand with a shade ripper and just closed up the shade.
Here's the question. Do you trust Maxine? Because that's kind of what I'm asking you to do right now, because I'm going to say that's what happens, and I do not explain myself until we at least get to the others where I'm going.
I'm going to say I had a huge brain fart, and I don't know what's happening right now.
Way to sidestep the question. Trying to create some meaningful character development here.
So
creating a story.
So that was a great, I'd say, 10 seconds of content that we went through in about 15 minutes. But anyway,
important.
How long does invisibility last?
An hour.
I think it's an hour. Spell slot. Yep, concentration up to an hour.
And anything that I'm touching is also invisible?
Creature you touch becomes invisible until the spell ends. Anything the target is wearing or carrying is invisible for as long as it is on the target's person. The spell ends for a target that attacks or casts a spell.
Fuck. Okay. So that means I can rip into the shade because the Shade Ripper is on my person, and that would make that invisible. Or
the rip itself wouldn't be, but you could go away from where they are and rip into the shade.
I'm also thinking that Nate wouldn't let that happen because in order to do that, that's magic, and that would dispel my invisibility.
I mean, it would, but if you run away and you're in a different room when you do it, I think that's fine. I think you just need to get away. I feel like I just created a perfect scenario for you to just, like, run away and go into another room and then rip into the shade.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think about, like...
But if you're using a magical item, you're not casting a spell.
I'm wondering if using it at all would dispel the invisibility because it's magic.
There's only one way to find out.
Shit.
I think that even if the Shade Ripper is invisible, the rip that you create with Shade Ripper would not be invisible. Is how that would work. So you would still need to be somewhere else.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna... Because I know I'm invisible. Have they come into the room?
Not yet. This is like 10 seconds after you drop with the skeleton to the ground. So
is the skeleton on top of me or something? Like,
it's next to you. It's kind of slumped kind of in the alcove, and it's part in, part out.
Is there anywhere or anything I can hide behind other than the alcove that I knocked this thing out of?
Well, there's a pillar. There are 4 pillars in this room that are decorative more than anything, but they're not much to hide behind, but you're, invisible, so I don't know how much hiding you have to do.
Do I at least... what's the floor like in here again? Is it that jade floor?
No, in this, it is an ornate brickwork, and in the middle there is a mosaic.
So no
tile.
Dirt. I wouldn't believe behind footprints.
You would be. There's a thick enough layer of dust that you might lay some footprints if you're not careful. But looking around the floor, you see that there are a lot of footprint marks from when Maxine was coming down this to scare the Obsidian Mantles, where the Obsidian Mantles were running away, where you all were investigating before. So there appears to be enough disturbed dust that you might be able to sneak your way out without making a mark.
Okay, so I'm gonna hide by a pillar closest to where they would be coming in, and that's my only exit, right? Where they would be coming in?
No. So the way that this first chamber is set up is there's an entrance on each of the cardinal directions. So you are in the alcoves in the southeast portion of this chamber. To the east is where the room is with the malachite sarcophagi and altars. To the north was a room that you didn't go down into, and that's where Reg and Mara are. And to the west is where you entered. So that's the staircase that descended down into this chamber. To the south, there is a wall that has a busted up wall.
All right, so I'm going to hide behind a pillar, and I kind of want to listen and see if they come in here and see if they, talk more about what's going on.
Okay,
like
so
what they're doing.
You want to hide by the pillar that's closest to you with the skeleton that's fallen out of the alcove, or a different pillar?
Different pillar.
Okay, roll me a stealth with advantage to try and hide your footprints.
17.
You are able to make your way to a different pillar using the disturbed dust portions from earlier. You are not noticed as Reg and Mara come in. Reg repeats again, "What was that? Did you hear that too?" Yeah, I heard something. Wait, look over there." And Mara points at the skeleton on the floor. And Reg says, "Is there someone else in here with us? This is fishy. I don't like this. Hey, Hey, Derek. Derek, are you here? Zuth, Giro, get down here. And you hear from the staircase above heavy footfalls as these two massive humanoid figures in full plate armor come down the stairs. They look like they barely fit in this chamber.
I missed them.
And they grunt at Reg. Hey, did you see anyone coming through here? Any obsidian mantles or anything? Anyone being weird? And they grunt in such a way to say that no, they have not. All right. Well, this is, I don't know, this is giving me the heebie-jeebies. Reg, it's just a tomb. You know that there's nothing to be afraid of. I don't know why you chose this place to come and meet the obsidian mantles. Well, this is where they said those other people found those gems. I mean, that we've got the two, but we were supposed to talk to them and see if there was another one, because they said that there were 3 alcoves here, right? And we've got 2 gems, right? Yes. Well, if there's 3 of these alcoves that the gems could have come from, there should be a 3rd one there, right? Yes. So I wanted to talk to the obsidian mantles to see what they had to say. Okay. And this is where they said those other people found them. You know, that the half-orc I talked to, Agamir. So this is apparently the scene of the crime, so to speak. Okay, well, I don't think you'll be surprised to note that I'm a little frustrated that we haven't found anything here. No, I know we haven't. And I really wish those obsidian mantles were here, don't I? You can see that he's kind of clenching his teeth a little bit. He is also starting to get frustrated. I wonder if those screams we heard when we were on our way down here had anything to do with them. Maybe they got spooked by this skeleton or something. I don't know. It seems disrespectful to leave it like this, don't you think? Reg, don't. It's not a big deal. No one comes down into these tombs. Yeah, well, we're down here in these tombs, and I don't want to get, the first ghosts in millennia angry with me, so I'm gonna put this back where it belongs. Fine. How long are you gonna wait here? Well, that's a good question, I mean, we've been here, what, a minute or 2? Let's wait around another, hour or so and see if they come down. Maybe they got the time wrong. Those obsidian mantles, they're not too smart, so I'm surprised they even remembered who they were talking to. Enough to give me a name, at least, or someone to tail. All right, let's wait. And they sit and wait. What are y'all doing?
I'm trying to think of a way to, I don't know, write something in the dust and then piece the fuck out. To
what would you write in the dust?
That's what I'm trying to think, to write something and then piece, but I don't know what I would say.
Oh, you just want the aesthetic of writing in the dust like a ghost. You don't have anything specific that you want to tell them. You just want to do that.
Yeah, it's more to throw them off or to be I don't know. I just
I don't know. I just think it would be cool. I think I should do it.
In all caps, next to the skeleton. Boo.
No, because I'm on the other side of the room now, right? Away from it.
Yes.
I went to another pillar.
You're in a different location on the north side of the room.
I had this plan in my head that I would write something stupid random to get them out of here. So they didn't wait around or whatever. And then, or maybe
right.
to throw them off the scent.
On the wall, just put a really big RAWR and then XD. Random.
So random.
I was
So
thinking
random.
I was thinking more like writing the name of one of like another borough or something, like writing like Fellows or writing like, and then peace. And then maybe like throw a rock or something so they'd go over there. Just to like throw them off the scent.
I was like, off of whose scent? Our scent? They're not on our scent, are they?
No, they're on ours in the other campaign.
Yes, but what does Tora care about that?
I don't know. I don't. How do I get out of here? Can they see me?
Who? Pax and Maxine?
No, I mean, can the people, if I open the shade right here, would they be able to see it?
In this room, they would probably hear and see it. There's a kind of it sounds like a knife running through paper with like a slight crackling sound as you rip into the shade. I didn't really ever tell you all that, but yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like. So yeah, they would hear it.
Isn't there like another room or an alcove nearby?
There's you're nearest to the northern alcove, the one that Mara and Reg came in from. And then to the east is the Malachite chamber.
Yeah, so I'm going to go into one of the other rooms.
Okay.
So I can get out. Do I have to stealth roll again?
Yes. And Zuth and Giro are in this main chamber now as well. They are kind of blocking the way to go west and out of the catacombs.
Well, that won't matter if I'm in the shade, so...
Correct.
13.
Okay. Which way are you going? To the north or to the east? Do you go into the gem room or to the malachite room?
Which one's farther away?
The malachite room is farther away.
Alright, I'll go over there.
Okay. So, Pax and Maxine, what are you doing in the shade?
I would go to the Malachite room probably just because Maxine liked that room, remember? And then I would come out of the shade and like pull Pax out of the shade, probably still like stunned that this is all happening. Pull him slack-jawed out of the shade again. Probably almost just as Tora like gets there, I would think.
Okay, as you go into the Malachite room in the shade, you all see the same exact sarcophagi with the plinths there as well. And you also notice that this room is a lot brighter than you would expect it to be for being in the shade. There seems to be a bright light emanating from the sarcophagus.
Shit.
You gotta stop giving a shit about Idrinden, man. It's too much.
I walk over to the sarcophagus cautiously.
Yeah. We gotta touch it.
Touch it.
As you get closer to the sarcophagus, you can kind of hear... It's like a swirling kind of watery sound. And as you look over into the sarcophagus, you see that it appears to be some sort of magical iridescent liquid that is letting off this light.
Oh no!
Do you want to drink it?
I take out my sipping straw.
Forbidden drink! Forbidden drink.
I'm not going to stop her, but I would also like to roll an Arcana.
Okay, let's roll that Arcana first. And you're not really taking a drink of this, Maxine.
I know. I knew she wasn't.
Emily very much wants to, I'll say.
If you want to, I'm not going to tell you no.
Just wait till I get there.
Maxine
you can convince me
though.
to do it.
See, Tora would do it. Maxine would not.
That's a 15.
Okay, you have never seen anything like this or heard of anything like this before. As you're kind of peering into it, it looks like right as you're about to get information on it. Like it's right on the tip of your tongue. You're able to like describe what it is. The nature of this magical fluid, gas, whatever it is, it changes, and then you immediately lose the thought of what was on the tip of your tongue. And then it just goes in a pattern like that again and again and again with a bunch of different thoughts. And every time the thought leaves, you completely forget about it, as if you can't grasp it.
God, that sounds just like my fucking life, bud.
Seriously.
I was just gonna say.
This is
Can
just
I,
ADHD personified.
Can I take one of my throwing knives and just kind of like dip it in the liquid and just kind of like swirl it around a little bit? Just like the tip of it?
You can certainly try. Are you doing anything specific, or are you just trying to do it? You just gonna...
I'm just going to go for it.
Okay. Roll me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh, fuck. 8.
Hey, remember when I was shitting on Bardic Inspiration earlier?
Yeah.
Can I use it?
You've got to say it before. You got to say it before the rolls.
See, this is why I shit on it. There's no reason for that.
You do have inspiration, I'm pretty sure, and you've got those hero points packs if you would like to.
Yes. Inspiration.
Nah, but you made that rule that we weren't allowed to use that after the roll either.
The
No,
hero,
whether or
hero
not we
points are you're able to use before I give you the result.
Yeah.
Oh, he hasn't given the result yet. That's
exactly. Much better. 19, please. There goes my inspiration.
Please, thank you.
Okay, you go to swirl one of your throwing knives around in this ethereal liquid, and your throwing knife seems to be kind of drawn to it like a lodestone, but you don't see a lodestone. As you're looking, your arm looks like it's starting to be like elongated and pulled into this liquid and magic. And then before you know what's happening, your knife is like completely consumed by this magical liquid, and you yank your hand back just in time, and it like unspaghettifies and is normal, and it feels fine.
Spaghettification.
So much for just the tip.
Yeah, you felt like a slight tingling, and like this magical energy was like starting to course through you. But then when you snatched your hand back, it immediately went away. You've got pins and needles in your hand now.
Oh, man. If we weren't in the shade. Okay,
now
so.
I'm even more curious.
Luckily, we're in the shade, so I yelp, "What the fuck?" as I put my hand back. Luckily, nobody could hear that because I'm in the shade.
Have I come in yet?
Yeah, just as you have finished saying what the fuck, Pax, Tora comes into the shade, and Tora, you see the same thing that they do.
I want to touch it.
Careful of the spaghettification.
Is it okay? So, like, what happened to him exactly? It was like his body was being pulled in.
It's like reality was distorting around the object that was touching it, and he was being pulled into it, is how I kind of felt.
It was some sort of magic that, as stuff was getting close to it, it was being drawn into this liquid, or gas, or just iridescence, or just pure magic. Who knows? You all have never seen it before, so you don't know exactly how to describe it. It's very nebulous, and it seems to be ever-changing. Yes, Maxine?
Maxine is going to take a coin out of her pocket and throw it in, like a wishing fountain.
I was just going to ask if someone had anything to, like, throw in, like a rock.
Okay, you throw, what denomination of coin?
Gold. She doesn't carry anything else.
All right, so you toss a coin to your...
Witcher?
You toss a coin to your weird magic well.
Toss a coin to your casket.
You kind of flip the coin in. It kind of hovers above the sarcophagus if it's in stasis for a second, and then it gets drawn into the liquid and is gone. Doesn't make a sound. Doesn't do anything.
It just vanishes.
Just.
Y'all, I just want to like jump in. Like,
I
I'm
was
not gonna
just
lie.
Straight up about to be like, God, I want to bathe in that. That sounds
Like,
awesome.
I genuinely
Just wanna
want to jump into it.
It's
like,
just
so badly.
It's a millennial's dream, right?
kind of. Yes.
Give me some magical liquid to just become one with and nothing.
I'm not gonna lie,
just
like
not exist.
I like Tora and everything, but if she died doing this, I wouldn't hate it.
A valiant death.
For science.
I'm not kidding. I'm doing it.
No, you're not gonna jump into it. You can stick your hand in it or something, but I will straight up, Maxine will tackle you to the ground.
All right, fine. I want to touch it, like actually with my hand, not a knife, not my hand.
Pax, did you describe what happened when you did the throwing knife in the sarcophagus to Tora when she got here, or no?
I feel like I describe it, and then immediately after she goes to touch it.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Okay. And you've seen the coin go in as well. So, all right. So you are just full on going in to touch it then.
Yep.
I feel like this is bad.
Okay. I'm going to start describing some things. If at any point you're not okay with what's happening, just tell me, and I will have you roll a saving throw. I'll decide what kind of saving throw at the time.
Ah, shit.
Heinous.
I love it.
Man, you want to find information. This is how you get it. Okay. I'm just going to say right now, this isn't where I was expecting this session to go.
How? How is it that you're still surprised by the stupid shit we do?
How could you give us a tub full of magical swirly liquid and be like, they're not gonna touch that?
Let the record show that I didn't think they were going to try and hide from Reg in the shade. I didn't think they were that scared of him. I thought they were friends.
Oh, I had a whole conversation in the car with Justin the other day how I wished that instead of tripping and falling out of the thing, I had, as soon as we heard that it was Reg, I wanted to pop up and be like, Reg! It's Tora! We met in jail! Like,
Stupid.
But that never happened, so.
No.
Yep.
This is where we are.
Alternate universe.
So Tora starts reaching her hand for the substance within the sarcophagus. Tora, this is what you start to feel. You're looking at this substance, this liquid, this gas, this whatever, this magic, and you are seeing all of these things that, again, you've got them on the tip of your tongue. You know what it is. You've got that feeling like, I know exactly what that is, and then it immediately goes away and you forget about it. And that happens with a few different items. I can't tell you exactly what they are because they immediately are gone from your memory. But then as you're reaching down, it looks like the substance is taking form. And it looks like it's taking the form of a tigress. And its eyes are blinding white. They're even brighter than the brightest thing that you've seen in the shade. And so you begin to get blinded by this light. And for Pax and Maxine, you all are seeing Tora being bathed in this light. She's perfectly illuminated, and then it seems like she is starting to illuminate as well. Her character, Tora herself, is starting to illuminate. And Tora, you don't realize it, but you're starting to reach farther and farther into the sarcophagus to the point where you're almost completely bent over into the sarcophagus. Like, you are full on in it now. Like, your legs are lifting up off the floor. The tigress is getting closer and closer. It feels like it's close enough that you can touch now, but it also feels like it's the farthest thing that you've ever seen. And you have these urges to get closer to it. And as these urges get stronger and stronger, you're going farther and farther in your mind and in the sarcophagus into this tigress. And as you were this want to be closer and closer is getting stronger and stronger, the tigress changes almost in an instant. And you are in a void. It's completely dark around you. There is nothing, and you're floating and don't know what's happening. At this point, Pax and Maxine, you see that Tora is completely illuminated now. She's kind of frozen in time, it looks like. Tora, in this void that you're in, you hear a single voice, almost like a whisper. It's like a whisper, but also it's clear as day, and it's right in your ear, but also super far away. And it says, "Come closer, child."
Oh my god. That's so creepy.
What do you do? There doesn't seem to be anything around you. There's nothing.
Can I talk?
You haven't tried yet.
Okay, I'm gonna say, why?
As you say why, it starts to echo all around you. Why? And it's getting farther and farther away, the echoes. And you hear the voice again, simultaneously closer and farther away. We need you.
I don't know what to do. I'm going to say that. What do I do?
As you say, what do we do? You see a pinprick of light in the distance.
And so fuck, man. I'm going to it. I guess, okay. I don't know.
Listen, gonna go towards the light?
I told you right before I did this that I don't care.
This sounds like suicide by DM, is what this sounds like. Sorry. It sounds like you want this for Tora.
No, I genuinely want to know what the hell is going on.
Mm-hmm.
This is curiosity killed the cat.
Playing a druid is what
Curiosity killed the tiger. Cat. It's 100% what would happen to me.
Okay, before we resolve what happens with Tora, Pax and Maxine, what are you thinking? And Nicole, take your headphones off for me.
Okay.
Pax, Maxine, you have just seen Tora has become frozen in time, and she is giving off this light as if this light has kind of started going into her and started, it almost seems to you like it's starting to consume her.
I turn to Maxine and I'm like, should we grab her and pull her away? She's like halfway in the sarcophagus, you said, right?
Yeah, when she was frozen. Correct.
It's like, so I feel like Maxine would not be chill with this right now at all. Like, I feel like she would very much, she's at least for this time period been calling Tora's name to try to see if she can like get her attention. So, but I want to say Maxine is going to tackle her to the ground, but I want to let Tora do what Tora wants to do unless she tells me otherwise at the same time. So I'm going to say, can I ready an action and say that if Tora starts to get fully pulled into the sarcophagus, like her full body, like her feet are going, this is it, it's over. That's when Maxine is going to grab on and try to pull her back out. But I want her to be able to do what she wants to do. So Maxine's going to get close to Tora, not touching her, and ready that action.
Okay, roll me an insight.
Man, I feel like I have a special thing for rolling insight. You never roll lower than 8 when detecting lies with insight. Can I detect your lies with insight? Is that possible?
I'm not lying. I'm calling it like I sees it.
That's a natty 20, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, when you were looking at Tora right before she went to put her hand in, you felt like she was drawn to this light and this magic. She didn't necessarily say anything, but you felt like in the brief time that you've spent with Tora, you kind of feel like this was something that she needed to do for herself. So you have these thoughts of, let her be, she either knows what she's doing or she's okay with what happens regardless of what she's doing.
Yeah, I mean, I did just make the argument a little bit ago that, like, Tora's not stupid. And that I can make her invisible and she'd be chill. She'd understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Pax, what do you like to do?
I would like to say that I go to grab her, but Maxine has already kind of figured this out to the extent, and just kind of like says, "Stay back a second."
I think I say that to Pax, like, we have to let Tora do what she do, but, like, if it gets wild, let's be on deck to pull. Like, so I'm sure we're both there, like, if something goes wrong, but, like, let's her do.
And then I go, "This is pretty wild."
Yeah.
I almost spaghettified my arm.
If it gets wilder, Van Wilder.
Okay.
Okay. So are you also going to ready that action to kind of pull her back if you need to?
Yes.
Okay. So Tora, you see a pinprick of light in the distance, and you have decided to go towards it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So as you're kind of floating in this void, and this pinprick of light has appeared in the far distance, far away from you, you don't feel anything, like physically or mentally, emotionally, anything like that, as you're in this void. As you start moving towards the void, or towards the pinprick of light, you start feeling an itching kind of in your brain. And that itching gets more pronounced as you get closer to this pinprick of light. At first, it's just a mental itching. And then you start feeling it physically as well. And it's starting to... It's going all over your body, and you're getting closer to this light. And you're seeing that the light itself is being held back by something. And you see around the outside of where the light is as you get closer, it's not a pinprick anymore. It's like the size of an orange in the distance. And you can see that there's frayed edges to the light. And you get closer and closer. It's now the size of, let's say, a computer monitor. And you can see that the edges of the light and what's holding it there is moving. And you're getting closer and closer and closer, and you can see that there's this darkness that is holding this light at bay. As you get closer to the light starts to shine on you. You see that the darkness is trying to hold you back from the light as well. And that is what the itching is. You can see now that you've been almost consumed by this darkness. It's like an inky blackness that has similar qualities to the light that you saw in the sarcophagus, but it feels a lot different as you get closer and closer and closer to the light. You see that there is something obscuring some of the light that's coming through. As you get closer, something is starting to obscure the brightness right in the center of this light. At first, it just looks like a line, a dark line or something. And you're getting closer and closer and closer. Now it's the light is the size of a doorway, and you're seeing that this, what was just a line, a vertical line in this bright light and this what was a pinprick of light, it now looks more like a humanoid in shape. And you're getting closer, and you see that the bright light that was the pinprick now looks identical to the light that was in the sarcophagus. And now it's a vast ocean in front of you, and you find yourself half in the darkness and half in this pinprick of light. And you see that there is a figure of a woman standing in the brightness. And she turns to you, and you can see her face for an instant as she says, "Go." And all of a sudden you snap back into the shade, and you pull your head out of the sarcophagus with a gasp.
Oh, shit.
Who was the woman? What'd she look like?
You can't remember.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
And you can't remember your time in the void or the time when you were trapped between the inky blackness and the bright iridescence. You can't remember that time either. As you are starting to try and remember, you are forgetting. And make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
19.
Okay, you keep yourself from vomiting from the just the how quickly you were snapped out of that situation. You are really confused. You've forgotten where you are, and you are actually under the effects of confusion right now. So whenever you're going to have to make a wisdom save, whenever you try and do something for the next few minutes to, see if you can actually do something, or if you just aren't able to do anything at all. And you also have a new fun thing that we'll talk on when it comes to it. You have a form of long-term madness, actually.
That's awesome.
The fuck?
We're all mad here.
Yeah, you are under the effects of a type of madness that I can't speak on right now, but I will speak on when the time comes.
Because that's not fucking ominous or anything.
So,
The same shit that had two pricks walking around freaking out about adrenaline.
Can you imagine?
It's the madness.
So you are under the effects of confusion as well. So first off, you can't take reactions. Second, you have to use all your movement to move in a random direction if you fail that wisdom save. Oh, wait, no, these are if you have to roll a d10 whenever you fail that wisdom save, whenever you try and do something. So right now that you're back in your body, basically. You're no longer in the void. Roll me a wisdom save along with that Constitution save. So you didn't throw up, but let's see something else.
22.
You feel a compulsion to attack both Pax and Maxine, who are standing next to you, but you're able to fight that back, and you remember, no, these are your friends, you're with them. This isn't they're not something to be afraid of.
Oh Lord, this is gonna be bad, guys.
And you're able to
No.
put that feeling aside. So, Pax and Maxine, what would you like to do? You just saw Tora kind of pull her head out of the sarcophagus and gasp as if breathing for the first time in a long time. The light is still coming out of the sarcophagus, but Tora no longer has this light emanating from her.
Does the sarcophagus have a lid?
There is a lid close by, yes.
Are you want to close it?
I want to close it.
Put the lid on the bad water.
It is a heavy malachite slab, so you would need help getting it on. But Maxine might be able to help you with her +0 strength modifier.
No, I'm not picking up a heavy thing.
I have +3 to strength, but I'm pretty fucking useless right now,
Yeah.
I think.
No.
Alright. So then I would suggest also Pax would probably like to say, before we leave here, we should probably arrest Mara.
I mean, you're not gonna be like, yo, Tora, you okay? Like, you just glossed over that? Like...
I would say Maxine grabs Tora, like, and pulls her, like, after she's out of the thing. I would say that she, like, pulls her away, which is probably why she feels the urge to fight me. Because I'm like, I've got her.
Tora, as Maxine pulls you away, roll me a confusion or a wisdom saving throw, please.
Can I give her bardic inspiration?
Yeah, I'll let you give her bardic inspiration as you mutter calming words to her. Or you can give...
I'm going, shh, in her ear. That's our thing.
Okay,
we just tell each other to shush.
Yeah, basically.
Let's take advantage on this save then, instead of bardic inspiration. So you don't have to discard a bardic inspiration use.
I'm just trying to use the bardic inspiration. Like, I'm trying to actively use it this time.
I know.
14.
That's with advantage?
Yes.
Okay. As you came to, you thought, okay, these are my friends, it's okay, everything's good. But then as Maxine put her arms around you, you had a vivid recollection of the darkness all around you. And you have a flash of that memory, and you lash out at Maxine.
No.
So roll a melee attack against Maxine, please.
No.
I crit myself.
Yay.
Okay. Tora is flailing wildly as you are.
I've never been more happy to do that before.
Yeah. Tora's flailing around wildly as Maxine, you bring her to you and try and comfort her. But you eventually get her to stop trying to attack you as she's kind of coming to.
I would assume like we fall to the ground kind of situation where I've just like got her and she eventually calms down.
Yeah.
I mean, this is gonna be hella shitty, but I'm just gonna say right now, worth it.
Of course. Of course.
It just made things really interesting.
Oh, God. That's one word.
Now you have to do with an insane person.
Hey, it's only for, 2 more episodes, maybe? Okay. Well, it's going to be a lot of stuff to resolve here in the end of this little mini season. Anyway, Pax, do you want to make that suggestion again?
Yeah, I'll make that suggestion again. I see her flail about and be calmed down, and I'm just like, okay, now can we arrest Mara?
You want to arrest... This is not Tora. You want to arrest Mara?
Yeah, for why?
And then I explain to the two of them that, being the bounty hunter, that I know who Mara is, that she's the leader of this huge gang out of the barony of Talaria, and that the bounty on her head is probably, like, priceless.
So what do you want to do? Open the shade and fucking snatch her into the shade and then...
Probably.
I mean, that would be hella hilarious.
I mean, but like, she's the leader, but like, she hasn't done anything wrong that we've seen.
Nah, but what he means is he's the bounty hunter, so he knows there's the bounty, and this is gonna go, if we convince him not to do this, like, it's gonna take a lot.
This is gonna make a big name for myself if I catch Mara Fordeye.
And that is very on brand.
I don't give a shit about that. Why do we have to catch? But she's with Reg, and we like Reg. Are we doing something right now? I'm sorry. I'm not saying that in a shitty way. I'm saying that in a, like, I straight up don't remember what, like, our plan, right? Like, what the point of being here was.
We
so
had to
I feel
stop
like
the people with that job, and then we were going to go back to get another job because our other jobs disappeared because we couldn't get more than one at the same time. Then we heard Reg.
Okay.
Your overarching your main quest, besides all the mini quests, is to find the wraith for Rargini.
Right.
And you all have decided to do this by going deep undercover and doing actual jobs for the Order of Alteration.
God, we're so stupid. Okay.
I mean, the name of our show. Like, let's be honest.
Let's be honest. Okay. I'm going to... I mean, we're trying to find the Wraith. We're not any closer, I feel like, to finding the Wraith here. I feel like arresting Mara is going to be, like, just a whole thing outside of our purview. But I also kind of feel like Nathan did not expect us to hide and wanted us to talk to Reg. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's not so bad if
that's metagaming. Do whatever you want.
Sorry.
Talk in character.
What if she knows something about the Wraith? I wonder if we could ask her, because she's a bigwig.
Pax thinks to himself real quick, hey, even better. Rajini wanted the Wraith, but hey, what if I got her Mara? And then I start to open a tear into the real world.
I'm going to pull Pax back just a little bit. And I'm going to be like, listen, here's the thing, though. What if you could get Mara and the Wraith? Because I feel like if you go in here guns blazing and you start fucking around with Mara and she knows something about where we can find the Wraith, you've blown a lead. Whereas if you go in and we are friends with Reg for a minute and we are chill for like a second, we can get some information. And then you can arrest her and do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care about your club. But until then, I would really love to get information. And then we could go find the Wraith as well. So that's 2 instead of just 1. So how do you want to play this?
You could lie your way through anything. I believe in you. And I start to open a tear again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does that mean, like, you believe in me as in you are going to follow my plan that I just said? Or does that mean that you are going to just do whatever the fuck you want because you think I can handle myself? Pax, come back here. I have questions.
Opening the tear.
What am I doing? What am I doing right now?
That's a great question. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Fuck me. 20.
Okay.
Sorry, 21.
You are doing whatever you want to do. You are in complete control. You're coming in and out of lucidity as you're just taking it moment by moment at this point.
Can I stay holding Tora's hand?
Aww.
So she like doesn't get lost? I forget where she is.
Just put a leash on me at this point.
Like, tie a string like from my wrist to hers. Like, come on. Like those kid leashes.
Mm-hmm.
I just said that. Put a leash on me at this point. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So you come into the real world through the shade rip, and you hear Reg is talking now to Mara, or you assume because you're in the other room. As you look at the sarcophagus, it no longer has that light in it like it did in the shade. Only in the shade. In the material plane, it's nothing. Except for Tora, you think you see flashes of like light coming from the sarcophagus. You go back and forth between seeing nothing and then seeing like this fountain of light coming and pouring through it.
I am so fucked and I love it.
God, poor Tora.
Yeah, so anyway, I had my knife to the throat of this guy, and he coughed up the dough, right? Oh, well, yes, that's one way to get it done, I guess. Hey, well, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Did you hear that? It sounded like someone was tearing like parchment or something. Hey, Zuth, Giro, go check this room over here. You hear a heavy plate clinking against itself. And you see Zuth and Giro in the doorway now of this chamber. And you hear one of them go, huh?
And I'm going to say, hi. Hi!
I wasted so many spell slots to avoid this. I would just like to say.
Am I allowed to say that, or do I have to roll some shit?
You gotta roll a wisdom saving throw. Do it.
9.
You try to say hi, Tora, but instead rush forward and punch at the plate of one of these goons.
No!
You don't hurt him. You just punch at the plate mail of one of these goons, and it doesn't do anything about it. It's like kind of confused. It looks like, they're in full plate armor, so you can't see any faces, but you see them kind of cock their head to the side, and you hear Reg go, "What is going? Oh, hey, it's that druid from jail. Hey, why are you here? This isn't any place for anyone like. What are you? Did you? Oh, okay. I'm confused. How did you get in here?"
I come up from behind Tora and I put my hand on her shoulder and I approach and I'm like, "Reg, friend, how's it going?"
Real confused, bud. Why? What? Is there another way through back there? But even then, why would you be here in Ilar's birth?
I'm gonna say Maxine steps forward and is like, "Hey, we didn't mean to be here either. This just, it was a great alteration to our plans." And I say it because I want to see if he knows what I'm talking about, but she does it in like a very weird way. I'm going to say not super subtle because she wants to see if like anyone gets what she's saying. Maybe if anyone's part of the
Emily,
alteration business.
don't let anyone ever tell you that you're not stupidly clever. I love you.
I mean,
I will say that by saying it that way and not in thieves' camp, the language that you know, that's great. Thank you for doing that.
What I'm saying is like I feel like no one, unless you know what I'm talking about, no one. It's a secret society, so like unless you know the word that I'm saying, it just sounds like a normal word. So I feel like I didn't need to use thieves' can't. I feel like it kind of is thieves' can't a little bit.
Thieves' can.
Thieves' can't adjacent.
So Reg looks at you and he's just confused. He doesn't like his ears don't perk up at you saying alteration at all. Plans get changed all the time, but still, that still doesn't answer the. Were you just hiding in here?
I'm gonna like look up at because I'm still like right in front of that big dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look up at him and I'm gonna say, sorry, and yes.
Okay. Well, if that's all you have to say, I guess.
Did y'all not have another plan? Y'all were the ones who wanted to talk to Reg. What are we talking to him about?
I said
What's
you were.
the plan?
I thought he was going to make me roll again.
To see if she did something crazy. Before I tore a hole into the real world, I said, "Yeah, you can lie your way through pretty much everything." So I just tore a hole because you didn't want me to go and arrest Mara, right?
Okay.
So you were just like, "All right, let's go talk to Reg," and I was like, "Okay, you can lie."
Oh, that means it's that means it's on me. Okay. That's why I shouted at you. Pax, we need a plan.
He's passing the football to you.
I'm gonna say in this moment, Pax looks at me and gives me this face that's like, "Go on." And Maxine realizes with horror what they meant earlier, and is gonna be like, okay. We were in jail when he saw us. Did we tell him what we were in jail for? Remind me.
You were in jail for Tora making a wall of fire in the middle of the Grotti network.
What? Everyone thought I was crazy. Now I really am.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at Reg and be like, honestly, it's our friend. And I'm gonna gesture towards Tora and say, we were in a fight recently. And like, one too many hits with the snake. And so she is feeling a little bad, and she is having these like massive outbursts where she will just viciously attack whoever is around her. You saw what she did to your poor bodyguard. So we brought her down here so she would be away from people while we try to figure out what's going on and how to get her better. We apologize.
That was the best Aladdin reference ever.
So we're trying to make sure that she's okay. We did not mean to walk in on your very legal and normal business in the catacombs. And we apologize. But it is nice to see you. We didn't want you to think that we were hiding, but now we thought it was weird, and we wanted to make sure that you knew that we were here, so it's not weird anymore. So hi, how have you been?
We're hiding neighbors.
Roll me a deception, please.
I feel like I should get advantage because that's partly true.
Yeah. Okay. I'll allow it.
I mean, that's actually mostly true.
Mostly true, minus the we're down here because of my friend's a little crazy.
Well, we're down here and my friend's crazy. I just said because. I just changed that one word. Is this deception?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so.
It's gonna be a 13 plus 12. 25?
Jesus Lord.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear about your friend here. I did see that. I mean, I heard. It sounded like it hurt. Zuth here. He's quite the bodyguard, and his armor is not easy to get through. I heard a sound. Sounded like someone punched him. Is that right?
Yes, and we absolutely apologize for that. Tora is just feeling a little sick. You remember Tora from jail. She...
Hi.
Roll me a wisdom save, Tora.
Fuck. 22.
Yay.
You wave.
She's normally... You remember, she's very sweet. She wouldn't hurt a fly, literally. She's a druid, they don't do that. And she would never, and now look at her punching your precious bodyguard here. Which, like, let me just, and she goes over and she does the little, ha, ha, and, like, rubs on his armor to try to get it, like, buff out that dent that Tora left. And she's like, see, we did not mean to cause any harm. We're trying to keep her away from people. We did not realize that people would be down here. Yes, so if anyone of you knows a doctor or an exorcist, I would appreciate it.
I'm gonna just like randomly like look at him and be like, "What are you doing here?"
Well, that's something you all might be able to help us with. We're looking for some people. How long have you been down here? Have you seen any obsidian mantles coming through this way at all?
What's that?
No obsidian mantles. No obsidian mantles.
Roll me that deception.
We've seen.
Roll me that deception. Roll it.
18 plus 12. Suck a dick.
Damn, 30? Jesus Christ.
It's gonna be a 30 deception. Anyway, no, we have not seen any obsidian mantles. We have not. We did hear some screams coming from down one of those hallways, and I point towards a way that is not where we are or were, just like away from here. I'm gonna say we did hear some screams coming down that way, but we moved away because, as I said, we didn't want to be around people, so we kind of backed up into this corner here.
Ah, we heard those same screams. Yeah. Well, not to, seem rude or anything, but we really would appreciate it if you took your friend elsewhere and
That's
left
fair.
us in peace so we could wait for our obsidian mantle friends. You see, it's nothing about you. You might spook some obsidian mantles. They only expect us to be here, and if there are more people, we don't want a kerfuffle or anything.
Where's Mara?
You do not see her. She has not come into you all are at the kind of the alcove between the chambers. You have not seen her at all.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I want to ask a question.
Okay. First, roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Fuck. 14.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. You would love to ask a question.
But I can't.
All of a sudden, you are basically catatonic, just standing there.
So unfair.
Aww.
You're not moving, you're not talking, you're not doing much anything. You're just kind of holding on to Maxine's hand.
God.
I want to ask about Mara. Because I know we heard female voices.
I'm gonna
Or female voice.
wave kind of in front of Tora's face, like, and I noticed that she's more stoic than usual. I'm gonna wave in front of her face when I notice that she's catatonic. I'm going to be like, Tora? Oh my god. And then I'm gonna kind of drag her into the other room. I'm gonna act like I'm like, oh no, like, Tora, I've got to get her, like, down or laid down or something. And I kind of pull her into the other room with Mara. Like, I kind of push past Regis. If I'm kind of trying to leave, like, you're right, we do need to go. And then I notice that Tora's like this. And then I'm like, oh man, I guess I should sit down in this room that happened to have Mara in it.
Okay, roll me performance.
And can I simultaneously do, like, an investigation to see if I can find out where she went?
Yeah.
Okay. 19 plus 12.
I imagine this is all happening as you're moving into the next room, so.
That's a 24.
You move into the chamber that with the alcoves, and you get Tora down and situated. And Reg, Zuff, and Giro don't seem perturbed by what you're doing. They're not like, whoa, don't come in there. And Pax, you see that there is a figure kind of hiding behind a pillar, kind of nonchalantly. Like she's not exactly trying to hide, but she's not trying to be seen either.
Can I see that?
Or
can I see anything?
No, you're kind of glazed over right now.
Can I try to not be?
Sure. Roll me a wisdom save.
5. I was having such good luck for a while.
Tora, as you, or I guess Maxine, as you're starting to get Tora down on the ground to sit, she all of a sudden bolts upright and runs as fast as she can into the corner of the room that Mara is in. She's not saying anything while she's running, but you are running into that corner and you bump into her. And Mara says, whoa, what's the big deal? What's going on here? I know that you're a little out of sorts, but she's running at someone for no reason? And that's where we're going to end this week.
Okay.
Thank you so much for listening to the Village Idiots podcast. I hope you had a great time listening. I had a great time DMing, and I hope my players had a great time playing.
Guess who's the Village Idiot is,
the
guys?
Village Idiot this week is going to be Tora.
A little doy.
For after my descriptions of a throwing knife being spaghettified, Pax almost being spaghettified, and a coin being like, you know the reason. So anyway, if you disagree with that, you can reach out to us on social media, right, Nicole?
You can. We have
great
a Twitter.
Listeners.
Twitter @VillageIdiotPod. Definitely come talk to us on there. We're awesome. If you want to talk to me personally, you can find me at Nicole the Nerdy.
You can find me at JRoma20.
I'm at Neurotic Good.
You can find me at Village Idiots DM, and you can't find Jordan because he's not on social media. He is on paternity leave.
We also have a website, villageidiotspodcast.com. Lots of cool stuff up there, especially the artwork, which we have new artwork of our favorite goblin from this episode, Reg. And he hella hot for a goblin. Reg could get it. And my favorite thing is the link to our Patreon.
Speaking of Patreon, want to hear more from your favorite idiots? Well, you're in luck because we have a Patreon. For just a couple bucks a month, you'll have exclusive access to some DM insights with Nathan and Behind the Screens, listen to Nicole and I BS and What's What with Dilly and Dally, and even a mini prequel campaign set in the world of Lanamora.
If a subscription to our Patreon is too much of a commitment for you, we'd love if you could leave us a quick review on iTunes. If you enjoy the show, tell your friends about us. New episodes come out every other Tuesday at the moment, so stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned. And, maybe tune in next week, see how it goes. We've got 2 episodes left in this season 1.5, so I'm sure something exciting is going to happen. How could it not, right? Anyway, we'll tune in next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
To have Mara in it.
Okay, roll me performance.
And can I simultaneously do like an investigation to see if I can find out where she went?
Yeah.
Okay. 19 plus 12.
I imagine this is all happening as you're moving into the next room, so.
That's a 24.
You move into the chamber that with the alcoves, and you get Tora down and situated. And Reg, Zuth, and Giro don't seem perturbed by what you're doing. They're not like, whoa, don't come in there. And Pax, you see that there is a figure kind of hiding behind a pillar, kind of nonchalantly. Like she's not exactly trying to hide, but she's not trying to be seen either.
Can I see that?
Or
can I see anything?
No, you're kind of glazed over right now.
Can I try to not be?
Sure. Roll me a wisdom save.
5. I was having such good luck for a while.
Tora, as you, or I guess Maxine, as you're starting to get Tora down on the ground to sit, she all of a sudden bolts upright and runs as fast as she can into the corner of the room that Mara is in. She's not saying anything while she's running, but you are running into that corner and you bump into her. And Mara says, whoa, what's the big deal? What's going on here? I know that you're a little out of sorts, but just running at someone for no reason? And that's where we're going to end this week.
Okay.
Thank you so much for listening to the Village Idiots podcast. I hope you had a great time listening. I had a great time DMing, and I hope my players had a great time playing.
Guess who's the Village Idiot is,
the
guys?
Village Idiot this week It's gonna be Tora.
Well, doy.
For after my descriptions of a throwing knife being spaghettified, Pax almost being spaghettified, and a coin being like, you know the reason. So anyway, if you disagree with that, you can reach out to us on social media, right, Nicole?
You can. We have a Twitter.
Listeners.
Twitter @VillageIdiotPod. Definitely come talk to us on there. We're awesome. If you want to talk to me personally, you can find me at Nicole the Nerdy.
You can find me at JRoma20.
I'm at Neurotic Good.
You can find me at Village Idiots DM, and you can't find Jordan because he's not on social media. He is on paternity leave.
We also have a website, villageidiotspodcast.com. Lots of cool stuff up there, especially the artwork, which we have new artwork of our favorite goblin from this episode, Reg. And he hella hot for a goblin. Reg could get it. And my favorite thing is the link to our Patreon.
Speaking of Patreon, want to hear more from your favorite idiots? Well, you're in luck because we have a Patreon. For just a couple bucks a month, you'll have exclusive access to some DM insights with Nathan and Behind the Screens, listen to Nicole and I BS and What's What with Dilly and Dally, and even a mini prequel campaign set in the world of Lanamora.
If a subscription to our Patreon is too much of a commitment for you, we'd love if you could leave us a quick review on iTunes. If you enjoy the show, tell your friends about us. New episodes come out every other Tuesday at the moment, so stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned. And, maybe tune in next week, see how it goes. We've got 2 episodes left in this season 1.5, so I'm sure something exciting is going to happen. How could it not, right? Anyway, we'll tune in next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.